Okay, my loves, it's time to review the new movie Snow White. What is XL approved, so meaning we love it. What I did not like, leave it. And what needs some tweaking, some upgrading, some edits, if you will. And that we'll call XL size it. Get her up. I also went and got the new Hunger Games book. There will be a review coming for this. Have you read this? Are you excited for this? Please don't post spoilers in my comments because I like to engage in my comments and chat with y'all. So please don't ruin this for me. If you don't want spoilers, this is maybe not the video for you. I'm going to go into reviews first and then the spoilery section I will put at the end. So if you're only here for the spoilers, fast forward, it'll be listed down below where you can find out all the spoilers in this film. It involves Tangled, Bambi, and Beauty and the Beast. Stay tuned. No, but like, why is it that the new Disney films, all the live actions ones, they just like, people just shit on them? I mean, The Lion King, I can understand that movie was, you can't touch this. You can't touch it. They should have left it alone. They should have left it alone. I don't know, maybe children love it, but that was one of the worst films I think I've probably ever seen. It just... And yes, I went and saw Cats in theaters, and I loved that film because as a collective watching that chaos together was beyond. But I'm hungry. The film's about to start, and I need to go get a hot dog. So let's go. Oh, bitch! You know this has my name all over it. Okay, she's kind of cute. Do I get this? This little crown bucket? That's kind of cute. I'm getting it. I'm so sad they have no hot dogs and no food. But I bought the $50 bucket, so we're gonna talk about that. Okay, so the theater's actually dead, but this butter, I don't know about you guys, I don't like the real butter. I like this pretend butter. I need to show you. It's so good. I don't know, it tastes more like butter to me. Since there's no hot dog. Okay, here we go.
Right, on the Cineplex store.
How can you be out of the hot dogs? Like, I go to get a hot dog and popcorn and a side of the movie, you know? The woke police is going to be mad at Snow White. They are going to be mad at Disney because, as the cartoon said, she had skin as white as snow. And I think that was a lot of the hubbub around Rachel being cast, is that she's not Casper the Friendly Ghost. The internet hates Rachel Zegler, and when I tell you Rachel is not Snow White, she just is not Snow White. She is not Snow White. She is, in my opinion, the best live-action Disney princess that they have had since they've started rebooting all of these cartoons. She was magnificent. The journey she took us on was authentic. There was valleys and peaks to her performance. As a vocalist, specifically for Disney, she was a Disney princess. I thought she was incredible in this film. I really did. So I know y'all hate her online, but I think she did a fantastic job. And I hope that you'll give her a chance in this film. I also know that the woke police are going to be really angry at this film because it teaches girls to grow up being courageous and bold and empowered and intelligent and kind. And it's not gonna fit in the patriarchy or with misogyny. So some of y'all are gonna be really mad watching this film, and instead of being mad, maybe just like call better help. Use code BALD. Get a therapist. Write in a journal. I don't know what to tell you. I personally loved that Disney has evolved the story with the times. The parents are actually raising this princess to be a good leader. With everything going on in the world right now, there's a scene that happens in this film that is so poignant, talking about how the queen will win if we just keep fighting each other and not get along in order to rise up and stand against. It didn't go over my head. Okay, we are hitting big themes in this movie. This is not that original Disney film from way back when, the first animated feature film for them, where she was singing in a well and some prince came and grossly kissed her in a coven. See, education is important. That's a reason why these films change. They are more up to date because that's not okay to do. That's crazy. Consent is not just sexy, it is mandatory. Never forget it. And so I'm happy to see that these kids are growing up and they'll watch Snow White and that the version of this film is so much better. But we need to talk about the love interest because I find it interesting that he is so XL, leave it. Let's just get into it. There were things in this film that I really did not like. I did not enjoy most of the new songs. I would have loved the Queen's song. I didn't feel like it was motivated. It didn't make sense for the Queen to be singing other than if some rainbow community person was on set that day and was like, the Queen needs to sing. The Queen needs to It didn't. The song itself, isolated, I think is great, but I don't think it explained enough in the film that there's this world of magic until it was kind of too late. By that point, she's like wandering around the castle singing when she's supposed to be like this cold-hearted, like dictator ruler obsessed with diamonds and killing a child. Like it just didn't, I didn't believe it. I could not get behind it. I like that they pushed up the importance of why it needed to be an apple for Snow White to actually eat it. I loved that. That was brilliant. But it just like, why is she going to kill this little girl? For what? They don't establish that she needs to be the fairest in the land enough. Like, why? Why is that so important to you? You just, I guess I'm trying to rationalize the irrational because she's a psychopath, clearly. She killed her husband. Tries to kill this little girl. But speaking of little girls being killed, that's a wild sentence. I don't understand why in the film she makes her eat the apple and then is like, deuces, have fun sleeping, girly. You have sent a whole army to kill this girl. You sent your like lead killer. So why, when you like go on a boat in water to get to the forest and cast a spell to make yourself ugly, which is the number one thing you don't want to be because you must be the fairest in the land, to go and get her to bite the apple, why do you just leave her on the grass outside of the cottage and go, bye girl, my job's complete? Like it just doesn't, I think it created a bigger plot hole in my opinion than had they just explained why she needed to be the fairest in the land. It just, and like, as much as I want a separate film, it doesn't need to be explained in another film because this is the film we watched. Fix it, get it up, get the story going more. I do like that she had that rose thing, which to me tied into... Let's talk about the elephant of the film. And no, I'm not talking about Dumbo, but I would have loved that. Imagine Dumbo just shows up. Sickening cameo. Unfortunately, the dwarves are jarring to look at the first time they show up. I think I have the saw for it. It wouldn't have been so jarring if they would have had that kind of whimsy and animation, more of the story. The first time we kind of see that something's going on in the forest is that tree that comes to life and like, you know? But then all of a sudden these dwarves just pop up and it's later on they threw in a line for Snow White. Spoiler alert. This is not part of the spoiler section. I'm going to let you know in 3, 2, hit fast forward if you need to. Later on in the film, she talks about how her parents said that the forest was magical. And I think that was supposed to just like clean sweep everybody's understanding of, you know, and it just explains everything, which it would have had that information maybe been presented to us in the beginning when the parents were alive and she was a kid. Like there are edits to the script that I would have loved to have seen been made to smooth out the storyline. After you get introduced to the dwarves, I love the animation of them. They all have their own personalities. The voice actors were great. I thought the choreography they were given was really... Dopey has such a soft spot in my heart. I love Dopey. I love Dopey in the original and I love Dopey in the remake. The animation is so jarring because it comes out of nowhere. So that first scene, you're just like, whoo! Whoo! Happy Halloween. They escaped the haunted mansion, honey. Give the evil queen more magic rather than just the rose thing. Like, The rose thing was cool, and I was excited to see that they showed her doing magic, but it needed to be a little bit more. And I don't know if it's on the chopping floor, but it was a missed opportunity. There needs to be more motivation in the performance for the evil queen, but her musical number is so beautifully lit. The song is epic. The added dancers are really cool. The way it's shot is so sweeping and big. It just, like, and I'm sure if it gets enough traction, it will become like a camp, like Rocky Horror moment. Like, it's that level to me of cringe. It just doesn't make sense. So it comes off camp when she's so serious in her acting. It just was like, pick a lane or choose all of the lanes. Make it your highway, but make sure that we know it's your highway so we can drive along with you. One costuming note that I have is at the very end of the film, the color palette to me didn't make sense, and this is so specific, but welcome to my adjudicator's brain. No point throughout the film are these characters wealthy, nor do they ever wear, like, monochromatic. Like, this is not Chromatica. This is not Monochromatica the ball. I couldn't help but think to myself, like, where did all these new clothes come from? And why are they so clean and pristine? And it took me out of it a little bit. Though the costumes themselves were stunning. Again, what was the motivation? Where did it come from? Was Snow White like, oh, guess what? There's a mine full of crystals. We'll just sell them off, all these diamonds, and I'll buy you all new clothes so we can dance around the square? Because if she did, work, diva. I'm moving there. Let's get into the XL loves it moments of Snow White. The costuming. Okay, I know when the original trailer came out, people ripped to shreds Snow White's costume compared to a drawing. However, the costumer of this film did such a great job. It really helped tell the story, from the color choices to the richness and textures on the fabrics of the costuming. The queen's costuming was just, I loved it. I loved it. The addition of the stained glass in her crown, so juicy, so juicy. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The scenery in this film is what makes it worth going to see this in theaters. It is like sweeping landscapes. The castle is so majestic and so beautiful. The cottage is like stunning. I remember as a child being terrified of the scene when Snow White runs through the woods. That shit is scary. And I will tell you, if you're a parent and you happen to be watching this, be prepared, because your kids are going to be scared again. It is scary, but the way that they come out of it, I haven't watched Snow White since I was a kid, so I don't know if it's the same. There are a lot of shots that I remember, like with the shadows that they do, like with the killer coming up is really cool, and the dwarves and the mines are really cool. There are a lot of shots that are shot for shot from the cartoon, which I thought was really special. It was nice to see that nostalgia played out in this new retelling. But how they get out of the forest, that scene after, is so well done that it kind of removes or alleviates some of the fear. The other scary factor that happens in this, which is another part of my XL loves, the final scene with the queen in it is so beautifully shot and so terrifying and hauntingly beautiful at the same time. That section of the film is so beautiful. So beautiful. I also really loved the scene where the evil queen becomes the hag. The way that they reimagined that scene was so perfectly done. The transformation coming down the staircase. Ooh, goosebumps, honey. It was, and the makeup that they did, I don't know if it's just makeup and CGI, I'm assuming, because this movie is heavy in CGI, but Gal is completely unrecognizable as the hag. It is beyond meat burger, the transformation on this woman in this film. Yeah. One of the biggest things that is important to know about this film is that they finally, in my opinion, nailed live action characters showing emotions and assisting the storyline. I told y'all earlier you can't touch this film, and I still stand by they shouldn't have. And I guess the Good thing is that by, in my opinion, failing at doing the Lion King, the live action version, they succeeded in doing the animals in Snow White. They feel authentic and they don't feel jarring to like look at as they emote. And I don't know if it's because they're not talking. I don't know. I can't tell you what it is, but the animators on this, y'all nailed this. They really helped push the story along. And that's important, especially for this film. If you've seen the cartoon, you know they help Miss Thing out a lot. They're Miss Bippity Boppity Boo, essentially, in this one. Hear me out. Gal Gadot gets a spin-off, a la Maleficent. Then we get like a cinematic universe where all the villains come together. I would love it. Can you imagine Angelina Jolie as Maleficent and Gal Gadot as the evil queen? And Melissa McCarthy with better makeup as Ursula together. You want the box office to explode? Do that. Do origin stories with them together somehow. I don't know how or why they would tie in, but we know that Disney has tons of Easter eggs and there's so many tied in storylines. For me, there are a couple of moments where they utilize silence to gain tension and awkwardness and like power within the scenes. One of them that really stands out to me is when Snow White goes and sits down at the table for the first time with the evil queen. And it's like, you can hear the jewelry on the queen's costume moving and the breath. And the power of silence just really pushes that scene for me so much further. Near the end of the film, when Snow White has eaten the apple and she is laying there with everyone surrounding her. There's no spoilers there. Perfect. It's a really powerful moment in the film. I think upon a second watch, like this is definitely a movie that will cook and like y'all feel like, okay, yeah. This filled me up more than I thought after watching it the first time. I think if you give it that opportunity. Disney tie-ins and Easter eggs. And maybe I'm just like so Disney obsessed that I saw these as these. I don't know. First up, we have to talk about the new character, Jonathan. Jonathan gives me Flynn coded from Rapunzel down. The outfit, his storyline, his personality, his hair. It all gives me Flynn. I mean, obviously he's not Flynn because he's Jonathan. That's his name. But it's not far-fetched to believe that in that forest, Rapunzel could also happen. So I thought that was interesting. And if that is already like a thing, a connection between the movies that I don't know, let me know. After the tree scene, the character that comes out resembles Bambi so fiercely to me. And I kind of was hoping they'd push it a little further because then like a rabbit comes out and I was hoping that he would like thump, you know? Like set it up, give us Bambi next. Because I think that now that they've like really nailed these characters, I think that the film Bambi should be remade. Because I think they do a really good job on it. I will never forgive them for the monstrosity that is the reboot of The Lion King. And is the second one good? Maybe I should watch it. Maybe the second one was better, but I could not handle the first. Sorry, I really did not like that film. The best thing about that film was the song Spirit, and it's the credits. So the beginning felt very Beauty and the Beast to me. When Snow White is like wandering around in the village, it feels like, you know, like, I need 6 eggs. Like I was waiting for her to pop out. And it was also very that coded to me too, because the little girl playing Snow White is in a yellow dress and she has dark brown hair and it's like Elsa braided. But when she's wandering around the town, I was like, oh, this feels very Beauty and the Beast. And the reason why I bring that up is only because at the end, there's a moment that happens. But earlier on, we get introduced to the evil queen and she comes out with a rose. And it's interesting to me that this witch finds her way to a castle to destroy, to take over, because it was also a witch with a rose, an enchanted rose in Beauty and the Beast. And so I was like, oh, that's maybe a stretch. Until the end, when she has her final showdown with Snow White and she pulls out the rose again. And the rose is beautiful. And then and as it disintegrates, it just, I don't think it's an actual tie-in. It'd be really cool if it was, that turns out to be the same witch. Imagine the evil queen is the witch in Beauty and the Beast. The evil queen is the witch in Beauty and the Beast. Are you kidding me? Love those little Easter eggs and hidden theories behind Disney. Let me know if there was something else that I missed because I would love to know. Spoiler alert, a couple of things for you to consider when you're going into the film. A lot of it is similar to the original. However, there's a ton that has changed. So her skin is no longer white as snow, which, oh well. Like, she's literally not a real human. It's not based on a historical figure. Breathe a little. And what they do in the film is they have it that she was born during a snowstorm and she was able to withstand going through that, which comes up later when she decides to become a leader, which I thought was so special. The way that her parents raise her in the scenes that we get to see them together is really beautiful. It's nice to see a tender-hearted king teaching his princess to be kind and to lead with compassion and understanding and love and strength and bravery. It was nice to see a Disney film instilling the main female character with strong morals and a strong moral compass and intelligence. It was really nice to see that the story had evolved, in my opinion, in an uplifting, empowering way. I love the line, "Oh yeah, you've got good potatoes." And that's not going to make sense to you now until you see the film, but it's the delivery of that line, it's from the character Jonathan, is chef's kiss. So funny. Brilliantly delivered. I cracked up in the theater. I also liked when Dopey finally speaks and he says, "Let her try." Right now, with everything going on in the world, I think we need to be a little more like, yeah, okay, well, we're standing up for what's right. Because it's easier to stay quiet and go, that's not my problem. I don't need to have an opinion. I don't need to voice my opinion. That's kind of what this film's also about. And not fighting with each other and instead deciding to rise against what's wrong in the world and helping each other out. There's a couple of times where they talk about how as a kid, when Snow White's parents were alive, she'd go and bake pies and bring them to the people, and all these people that used to help everybody else are now turned cold and believe that it's one for all and all for none. And I feel like our world's kind of getting to that point. I've seen it. I've had stuff like that happen to me, and it just takes people speaking out. So I love that line by Dopey, "Let her try." Such a defiant moment because he doesn't speak until that moment, and there's power in our words, so always choose them wisely. That there's no prince in this film, and they kind of toy with the idea of like knight in shining armor and Prince Charming not being necessary. And there's a charm to having a prince that I do enjoy. I don't mind watching straight people fall in love. It's like they're trying to come up with twists, but I do like that there was still a love interest in this one. I thought that it made sense. That scene when her hair was so jarring, but then you just see that iconic image of Snow White. I loved that moment. But that's Snow White in a nutshell. This is my first time reviewing anything, so scary, but also exciting. Do you plan on seeing Snow White? Do you care about Disney? So many questions. If you're new here, my name is Xtacy Love. Yes, that makes my initials X and L, because I am what? Fat. And beauty comes in what? All sizes. Don't forget it. The world teaches us to hate everything about ourselves, and I'm here to remind you to tell the world to kindly fuck off. If you want to support the channel, please make sure that you hit subscribe, turn those notifications on, because you'll never know when I'm going to pop up. A lot of times I do post previews, but something like this, I'm going to turn it out and just throw it up here for y'all to enjoy. So welcome to the House of Love, my loves. I hope you had fun here, and I hope you know that this is a safe space for you as long as you choose to be here and lead with kindness, compassion, love, and critical thought for those around you. And don't forget that you are around yourself. It's important. I love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, my loves. Mwah! This incredible popcorn bucket. The detailing matches the queen's crown. It's black with like glitter gold chunks. The inside has gold flecks through it. So obviously I'm obsessed. I'm not obsessed that this was $50. Overall, I think it's cute. I just think it's crazy priced, and count it up.